from Kitchener-Conestoga.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Health. Speaker, today Queen's Park has been visited by disease sufferers who continue to wait for provincial approval of a life-altering treatment that's already been given the go-ahead by Health Canada. Speaker, sufferers of polycystic kidney disease, PKD, deal with the painful effects of tumors that can swell impacted kidneys up to the size of a football. Last year, Health Canada approved the first-ever PKD treatment, and yet Ontario has refused to cover this treatment under the public drug plan. Speaker, members of the PKD Foundation are meeting with the Minister's office today, and some are here, of course, in the gallery. Will the Minister tell these patients why he's not covering the treatment that they so desperately deserve?
Thank you. Minister of Health, long-term care.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the question, and I welcome those who are here today to speak about polycystic kidney disease, which is indeed, unfortunately, a prevalent, all too prevalent, but also very challenging condition for anyone to have. I think the member opposite should know by now, Mr. Speaker, that there's a process in place that the Health Canada approval for a drug generally for a specific indication is only the first and one step in a multi-step process. At that time, once it's approved by Health Canada, there's a requirement that it be examined for evidence of its effectiveness, its efficacy, and that historically used to be done separately by each province and territory. Now we've created a process, in fact, it's done nationally one time, and that's the process that we're applying here to review the evidence after Health Canada's approval to establish its efficacy.
Supplementary.
Yes, Speaker, we understand that this treatment is not for every patient. However, PKD sufferers are here today with doctors who have outlined exactly those that would benefit and yet continued to wait for this important treatment. We've seen this story before. Rare disease sufferers continue to wait for action from the minister's so-called working group that he used to shoot down our call for a rare disease select committee. While our committee would have been completed its work by now, we still await word of the actual work from the minister's working group, even though we hear the report is in fact sitting on your desk. Rare disease patients are tired of waiting, and PKD patients need answers. Speaker, will the minister commit today to approve treatment for those PKD patients that will benefit from this important treatment and table the report his working group has completed? Thank you.
Thank you. Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I think I assume it's Ginark that the member opposite is referring to. He's nodding his head. So it was reviewed by that national process, the Common Drug Review. In fact, the Common Drug Review recommended that Ginark not be listed for the treatment of polycystic kidney disease because it was not shown to definitively improve relevant outcomes in patients with that disease. Additionally, the Common Drug Review noted a number of safety concerns associated with the drug, including liver injury, low sodium, increases in uric acid and gout, polyuria, thirst, and skin cancers. So it's important, Mr. Speaker, first of all, we take the politics out of this. We leave it to the clinical experts, the frontline doctors, the scientists, the academics to review the evidence. They've invited the manufacturer, in fact, to come forward if they have additional evidence. But in the spirit of collaboration and transparency, I've identified specifically why that negative recommendation to date has been.
Thank you.